Oh, well, all right, y'all. So, welcome back to Love 24 Hours here, where we view content that could either brighten or enlighten your day. All right, y'all. So, before we get into the shout outs, real quick, let me just tell y'all. So, the Zoom meetings and stuff like that is on hold right now. That phone number that I put out the other day, I'm gonna have to go back to that video and find that comment so I can take it out. Because we putting it on pause. So I took that number and I deleted it and things like that. So I'm no longer using that number. So even when I do start back doing the Zooms, I'm gonna give you guys a brand new number if I take that route. But other than that, you can still email me, of course. You know, whatever. But yeah, but other than that, yeah, I'm not using that phone number anymore, y'all. It's been driving me a little crazy. Okay, so yeah, the shout outs. So the first shout out goes to DD2730. Thank you. I appreciate the love and the support. Next shout out goes to Tal. TAL399. And last but not least, shout out goes to Ravishing Queen 81. So yeah, you guys, thank you. I love you, Love Tribe. I appreciate every last one of you guys. And without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump straight into the video.
Hey, bag up. James! Bag up. I know you, damn. James! Tell James! James, he about to hit that, James! Oh my God, James! Come on, boy! What is you waiting on? Come run faster than that! God damn! Come on, Jack, get in the front! Come on! Shit!
Dad! So anyway, we get in our car and take the bridge out of town. While all the while, they're still going... Dad, they're firing the rocket! All right! It blew up the bridge! We're doomed! It's times like this I wish I were a religious man.
It's all over, people. We don't have a prayer. Ah!
Oh. For me, I think it freaked me out a little bit was this picture they used for here, and it was like exactly how the moon looked in what we just saw. But guys, why are you guys shooting rockets and where are you shooting them from? I think that intrigued me a little bit more. You said you're shooting rockets to test the distance and all the other crap you tried to say, but you were shooting them in the moon's shadow, which is intriguing to me because interesting. A lot of us don't think the moon has a shadow. A lot of us don't believe in the black side of the moon. We're still questioning the things in the sky. For me, it's you guys shooting from Virginia, which is basically the DMV, and all these things are here. Which is really cool because if you miss your rocket or something and it happens to hit a vital place, like, I don't know, where people's birth certificates are, where vital records are that only you guys would have the backups to, that would be cool that we would be changing history and health records after the Rothschild just played with the records from COVID. That would be so cool. And then, yeah, I saw this. I just thought it was really intriguing that the astronauts have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame when that's for actors. I think we're all done acting, okay? We don't want cake. Y'all stay safe.
Y'all, did the Simpsons do it again? And no, for real, if they did it again, this one is big. Because guys, if this one that they've predicted, well, we know it's not predictions, we know what it is. But if this one is true, guys, the Simpsons may have just given us the date of the rapture. Hang on to your britches, boys and girls, you're gonna want to see this. Oh, but first things first, Tiki Talk, you know this is purely for entertainment purposes only. We're just having fun. You know how me and my followers get down. We're just goofing around. New boot, Rapture, goofing. Everything here is just speculation. The upcoming April 8th eclipse has everybody wondering, well, let's be for real, has everybody anxiously hoping and praying that this eclipse and everything about it might be exactly the signs and the wonders in the heaven we've been looking for. The signs and wonders that the Bible explains we will get just before, well, the rapture comes. As the Bible clearly explains that there will be signs and wonders in the heavens, the sun will turn black as sackcloth hair, and the moon will not give its light. The stars, they will fall from the heavens. I don't know about you, but that sure sounds an awful lot like an eclipse. But the stars falling from the sky, from the heavens. Maybe the Simpsons also helped us understand and figure this out. Biblically, the Bible used to be written in Greek and in Hebrew, and it was translated. Did you know that heaven also means from great height? Maybe it's another, I don't know, biblical metaphor. Not meaning the stars in heaven, but, I don't know, the stars in Hollywood that do seem to be falling one by one from great heights. Sure does seem recently all of the elite stars in Hollywood are being exposed for exactly what and who they really are. Oh, when it came to stars falling from great heights, I don't know, could that be exactly what the Bible meant? But first, let's get back to the eclipse and everything about this upcoming April 8th eclipse that has everybody wondering, could it be time? Jesus states, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Like that, the Alpha and the Omega, the Aleph and the Tav, the beginning and the end. And when you map out the three eclipses, 2017, 2023, and the upcoming 2024, oh my goodness, what does it make? It makes the Aleph, the A. And the 2017 and 2024, oh, yep, that's right. It creates the Tav. Like so, like that. And this little area right here, X marks the spot where these lucky folks will get to witness 2 eclipses within these years. That actually lands on a place called Little Egypt. Oh my. But it's the upcoming April 8th eclipse and the path of totality that has everybody's jaw on the floor. As we follow that path of totality in the upcoming eclipse to find, well, that eclipse is going to go over 7 cities called Nineveh, 1 called Jonah, and oh my goodness, my friends, 1 called Rapture. But Auntie, what does that have to do with anything? Well, I'm about to tell you. As in Matthew 16:4 explains to us, an evil and adulterous generation seeks for a sign, but no sign will be given to it except the sign of Jonah. Oh, did you know that America only has 7 cities named Nineveh? And all 7 of these Ninevehs in America will be in the path of totality of the upcoming eclipse. And once again, so will a city named Jonah and a city named Rapture. But did you know the eclipse actually also falls underneath the constellation Cetus, which translates into the whale? If you know, then you know. Now, most people know the story of Jonah and the whale, but a lot of people don't know or aren't familiar with Jonah and the city of Nineveh in the Bible. Allow me to explain. Nineveh was an extremely adulterous and sinful city, much like Sodom and Gomorrah. God sent Jonah there to preach and warn them, you have 40 days to repent, because if not, but good news, guys, they did. They repented and they were saved. But it is very key and vital that you understand the fact that Nineveh plays a large role in this, and Jonah's very specific warning to them, you only have 40 days from now to repent and turn from sin. This is a key and vital fact about this eclipse that's coming in April. Because guys, what I'm about to show you that the Simpsons actually showed us in their May 8th, 2005 episode, y'all, it's about to make your jaw hit the ground so hard it's going to smack down, snap back up, and probably slam shut. Yeah, just like that. But before I get to that, guys, it's vital we talk about this. We don't know how and we don't know who, but somehow the Simpsons, well, they know things. For years, people thought they had somebody who was psychic or a time traveler or somebody who knew. And there have been also rumors of predictive programming, you know, how sometimes those elites, well, they have to tell us what they're going to do before it happens. Pretty sure the elites aren't in control of the rapture, though, right? Well, whoever and however the Simpsons do this, well, I'll tell you what, they do it and they do it really well. Down to very specific details of monumentous moments that they share sometimes decades in advance. Y'all remember that one where Trump went down the escalator and it was so detailed, even down to the little boy dropping his sign. And don't even get me started on the episode where Homer literally solved the mathematical equation for the God particle years, if not longer, before even scientists could figure it out. If that's not enough to give them credibility, I don't know what is. So the fact this upcoming eclipse goes over 7 cities named Nineveh, 1 called Rapture and another called Jonah, that is astounding, my friends. And the fact that these 3 eclipses map out the Aleph and the Tav, that is astounding as well. Leading many people to believe that this April 8th eclipse might in fact be the day of the rapture. But what if I were to tell you, with the help of the Simpsons, we might realize we are looking at the eclipse and the rapture dates all wrong. An evil and adulterous generation will be looking for signs, but there won't be any other than the prophet Jonah. Check, check, chickadee check, we have it all lining up with Jonah himself. But what if I were to tell you the eclipse might not be the actual rapture date, but that with the 7 cities named Nineveh, Rapture, Jonah, under the Cetus, which is the whale, knowing that Jonah preached to the people of Nineveh, you have 40 days to repent and turn from sin in order to be saved? Could this upcoming eclipse that has all of that encompassed in it actually be our 40-day warning from God? Could the rapture itself happen 40 days from the April 8th eclipse? Let's take a second and see exactly what the Simpsons had to say.
Wife finds out.
It's modern times. Everyone's doing it. Where did my Christian limo driver go?
husband is missing. The baby I chose to have baptized is gone. Mr. Thompson, what's happening?
It's the rapture, Shauna. The rapture. The virtuous have gone to heaven, and the rest of us have been left below.
Left below? Where have I heard that before?
It's the title of the movie.
It's everywhere.
We were fools. And because we rejected God, tacitly accepting Satan, we must suffer through the apocalypse.
I thought all religions were a path to God. I was wrong.
What if the rapture is coming and I haven't led a good enough life?
God wouldn't spring the rapture on us unannounced. He'd send us some.
Marge is right. The rapture isn't coming. There haven't been any ominous signs.
Follow me.
Blood is raining from the sky. 3:15 p.m., May 18th. That's when the rapture will begin.
May 18th? That's 1 week from today.
Here's one, Revelation 6:13. Just before the rapture, the stars will fall to the
Celebrity salute to special
blue angels.
I don't want to die next to Kathy Griffin.
Oh my.
The stars are falling to the earth.
2, 1. Goodbye, stupid Earth.
Huh. Interesting.
Please don't go. 10, 11, 12, 13, 12 apostles. But Jesus was at the Last Supper too. This changes everything. Wake up! The rapture is coming in heaven. 1. Oh, I'm wrong again. I'm nothing but a big fat. Woo!
Why didn't we listen to Dad?
To save them. Can't enjoy myself knowing my family is suffering.
Oh, don't
Tell me about family suffering.
Homer thought he had calculated the date of the rapture as May 18th at 3:15, but it seems his calculations were off by 1 day. And of course, I'm going to show you his calculations. Here it is. 13 apostles, 333 times 666, blah, 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 minus the 144,000. His equation lands him at 3:15 on April 19th. Y'all, I absolutely love how God works. I had 2 revelations hit me. Because when I was doing my deep dive a couple of weeks ago about the eclipse on April 8th, I knew there was a correlation between Jonah and the 40 days in Nineveh. I actually Googled, what is 40 days from April 8th, which came up May 18th. I noted it in my Bible as a potential watch date. But it dawned on me, just like Homer, he had May 18th. We need to remember the eclipse will happen on the 8th. From that date, 40 days. So starting the next day would be the full 40-day beginning, landing us on May 19th, 40 days after the eclipse on April 8th. Something else hit me. I gotta talk quick. You saw the 666 was in his equation. I always wondered about this. Here is wisdom. Let he that understandeth count the number of the beast. For it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Why would we count the number up if we already know the number? And it says, here have wisdom. Let he who understands count the number of the beast. Meaning, when you try to do your equation and figure this out, you need to use 666 and count the number of the beast in your equation, just like Homer did. And now that verse makes sense. Is the April 8th eclipse not in fact the date of the rapture, but in fact the 40-day warning for the May 19th rapture instead? I guess we'll see.
See, the people are walking around on something that's absolutely remarkable. I mean, look at that. This is Buffalo, New York, 1901. You know, just stunning architecture. And this all has a frequency. You know, we've talked a lot about this with frequency, resonance, fractals, all of these materials, you know, all the copper that was used. Every statue on top of these buildings had copper. Every angel on top of these buildings had copper. You know, and then you start to wonder, well, copper is only 1% of the soil. Where were they getting it all from? So Buffalo, New York, look at that fountain right there, you know, right in the middle. Just, you know, keeping the water intact. And then this is New York, Buffalo, New York, 1901. You know, this was the sustainable buildings that people were, you know, temporarily building. That's what they were telling us. You got right there. There's more water. And see how the society who was building these, because I don't believe that, you know, they were horse and wagon time at that time. But the society who was building this, look at how much they cherished water. I mean, there's so much water and fountains and all of this. And then you go to the next one, which you have a Coliseum in Buffalo, New York. You know, a picture I don't think many people have seen, which is interesting. You know, do you have this, and that can be energy.
Is this the World's Fair?
This is the World's Fair, yes.
Yes.
This is the picture, and then we see a moving sidewalk. This is remarkable. I mean, think of the feat of creating this and then putting this out into the middle of the lake. Just absolutely remarkable. And then we go through all of these pictures. We have all these different people. You know, they show all these different people, almost like the people were on display. This is interesting. California is growing a lot of oranges, which now we know there's the Florida orange instead. Now, these cute little boats were carrying all the materials. That's what they tell us, because that's the Christopher Columbus, the Pinta. Remember that whole story, which is funny? Interestingly enough, food in a pyramid, which I thought was fascinating. And then as we go a little farther in here, let me kind of scroll a little bit here for you guys to see. But then we get to all these different buildings. And they say each building was temporary. Now, this is interesting, because this looks like a church. So they just put this up over the summertime, and then they just built all of these. I mean, it's comical at this point. I think most of people, if you followed my page, you know, or you've seen my videos, I don't think any of this is what we truly believe. It looks like there was a very advanced civilization who knew how to build things like this, and they vanished. Or there was some sort of mud flood, or almost a static field event, in which everything just maybe flipped. And everything flipped upside down, and then mud came down from the sky. Because there's a lot of weird stories about like fish coming out of the sky, and all these different frogs coming.
The architecture of the old world wasn't just about beauty, wasn't just about uplifting and inspiring. It was all built with purpose, all part of a connected, free energy grid from the ether above. It is why so much of our infrastructure mimics it today. It is why they worked so hard to destroy parts of the old world, especially the antennas, the key components to the free energy network. This was technology that was here for centuries, long before Tesla even proposed it. And if you didn't disable this technology and remove it piece by piece, you risk parts of the old technology accidentally activating, just like you see happening in this temple in Cambodia. I believe effects like this, in addition to the airships, are why you see so much of the skies whited out. We could have free and limitless energy, and it's in the sky all around us. You can even do a test yourself. Attach a copper wire to the end of a drone and the other end to a voltmeter. Fly the drone up. The higher you go, the higher up the voltmeter will start ticking. Combine that with mercury resonators in those balls, and you have the basics of that free energy network. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
500 years ago, astrologers and numerologists said whenever it was a full moon, it pulled on the tides. They said people became crazy. They said they were lunatics. Science only caught up about 70, 80 years ago when it figured out that the moon not only pulls on the tides, but it pulls on the human body as well. The astrologers and numerologists were 500 to 1,000 years ahead of all the scientists. Just because it doesn't make sense to you doesn't mean it's not real. This is a virtual reality. This is a matrix, and numerology and astrology are the cheat codes.
Look at the royal family. Most of those, from Prince William to Prince Charles, living the life paths. What do you think? They're all C-sections. They're doing it on purpose because they understand how energy works. Now, most of us can't see auras, so we can't see the energy. But the matrix, this is what this virtual reality all is. This virtual reality, it allows you to understand what energy is flowing through the numbers. So if you can read the numbers, you understand how the energy works.
Okay, y'all, let me teach y'all something. Have y'all ever seen this right here before? This is a demonic sigil. These are demonic sigils. And what about this one, y'all? This is a diagram of electrical components. See any similarities? And then take a look at this list of sigils. Do you see any symbols on here that maybe you've seen around? Notice down to the left, you see a kite. You see a kite in a sigil. Look at what that's the Lord of power. When Benjamin Franklin claimed he discovered electricity, what did he have in his hand, y'all? A kite. You think that's a coincidence? That the sigil for the demon, that is the Lord of power, okay, is a kite. And Benjamin Franklin just so happened to use a kite and he discovered electricity or how to harness electricity. Do y'all think that's a coincidence? Or what about the symbol down to the right with a circle and a bunch of lines sticking out of it? Does that look familiar to you guys? Now take a look at this company here. This is the company CERN. This is the company that is literally trying to open portals and bring demons into our world. Look at their logo and then look at that demonic sigil. See any similarities? What is that sigil calling for? It's calling for the Lord of attrition. For those of you who don't know what attrition means, well, here it is. You guys think this is a coincidence? This is not a coincidence. There are demonic sigils built into our world everywhere, and electricity is nothing but a huge demonic sigil. Demons can manifest themselves through electricity. They have power. They are energy, and they have electrical powers, okay, and they can harness themselves through that. They can also, okay, cause your electrical components to go out of whack. If you haven't read the book of Enoch, I highly suggest that you do it, because Enoch tells us, okay, that these fallen angels came down here, the fathers of the Nephilim, okay, came down here and taught us things we were not supposed to know, like writing with pen and paper, astrology, doing stuff with plants, root work. They taught us these things. We were not supposed to know how to make weapons or fight wars. That was never something that God taught us. They taught us that. And it's sad how a lot of you guys are claiming ancestral connections to fallen angels because you feel like your ancestors were so special because they knew how to build pyramids and they knew this and they had secrets. But those secrets came from demons. Those secrets came from demons. Do your research. Anyway, just thought I'd teach you guys about demonic sigils and electrical diagrams and show you guys that we live in a world built by demons.
And that's why motion picture stars are called movie stars, because in the Bible, stars were referred to as lesser illuminaries. So these lesser illuminaries are working for the big Illuminati. So the big Illuminati are using the lesser Illuminati. The lesser illuminaries are just stars.
Now we have pictures with the president with his hand stretched out, holding a red rose.
But I have about 15 major color pictures of communist leaders throughout the world holding a red rose in their hand. And these are from newspapers and magazines. I began to pick up on this because someone alerted me to it, that the symbol of the red rose implies not only socialism and communism, but a secret society operating behind socialism and communism that uses the red rose.
This way out Willie holding the rose. We find Khrushchev. We find
all the communist leaders,
all the communist leaders, and
here we have a video from the mine explorer in France, where he goes down into.
I think I just figured out how the mud floods were done, like how we buried everything. The prior video showed a guy coming down into a tunnel system, which we have under every main city in the United States, possibly throughout the world. Now, the tunnels were probably used for a transport system referred to as the Hyperloop, which we're not going to go into now. Back to mud floods. How do we cause such a catastrophe that melts the entire world, causing buildings to literally fall in their place and just disappear underground like quicksand? It's a lot of mud. And although we talk about the Great Flood, that is not from rain. Well, I found out recently that you can liquefy sand with air. Watch this. It's a ball in a sand pit. They're blowing air, and it acts like water. Regular sand plus air equals liquefied sand. Well, imagine if there were buildings on that thing. They'd all be underground.
Filled to the brim with solid sand. This is one of the coolest things ever. If you take a tub of sand like this and then add air and
everything was designed here for a reason. The frequencies were designed for certain reasons. Let's talk about the sun. The sun is 5.9642 gigahertz. Add those numbers up. What do you get? 26. 26 in Gematria represents the divine. Then you go into water. Water is 100 terahertz. It represents, if you look at Gematria, according to the Hebrew alphabet, 100, because we don't count the zeros. It's 1. 1 represents the oneness of the universe. Your body is 70% water. The planet is 70% water. You think it's a coincidence?
In the document, it says there were 666,666 pyramids before the Exodus, and today there are less than 100,000, which is known, by the way. There are many pyramids all over the place. But why the 666,666?
The number is 666. Represents the number 18. 18, according to Hebrew Gematria, represents life. Earth's radiation is 7.83 hertz. Human beings, 7.83 hertz. Now if you take 7.83 and add the number up, you will get the number 18. As you know, the number 18, again, represents life. Every number has a frequency. Every number has certain energies.
Video games that exist. One is called No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky was created by like 14 college kids on one DVD. It has 80 quadrillion planets. The game never ends, and unlimited numbers of life forms as they travel throughout this game. Life forms evolve and come into existence. There's a universe on one DVD. What happens if you put AI on that software? Then those beings become conscious and those animals become conscious. Another game that exists, The Sims. The Sims are people that have jobs, go to work, have babies, go to parties, hang out, and all this kind of stuff. That's the video game. They're talking about putting AI into The Sims. They're going to become conscious. Now, what happens in The Sims and this other game, No Man's Sky, when these people become conscious from the AI and then write their own programs inside the program and create another conscious universe? The universe could be many, many layers deep. And that's just a hypothesis. What I'm saying is we may not be in base reality, being that we could have been created by an ancestor of another universe. They have an experiment where they have one gentleman in a room with a blindfold on and his hand on a remote control, video game in front of him, but he can't see the video game. They have another gentleman in another room who's looking at the video game with no remote control. They create a mind link between the two and transfer this guy's mind into the other guy. He's now controlling the other guy's hands to play the video game.
No way.
Yes.
This is documented.
In Russia, the 2045 project, they've already took a monkey and transferred its consciousness into a computer. That was done in 2010. They have the Avatar project where they transfer a soldier's consciousness into a field robot, and then the only thing that gets damaged if the robot blows up, the symbiotic link is disconnected through consciousness, but the soldier's obviously not going to die. They can take a skin cell from you, they can put it in a petri dish, they can get it under the right conditions, turn that skin cell into a stem cell, culture that, turn that into a group of stem cells, and then grow that into a full dual clone of yourself using your own stem cells and then transfer your mind into your new body. There's a Harvard student that about maybe 5 years ago developed this device that just sits on the bone right here on the back of the ear. That device is connected to Wi-Fi to the internet. He doesn't have to speak. He thinks and the bone picks up his thoughts and it sends it to Google. He can ask, well, you ask him a question, he then asks the question to Google through this piece that his mouth never moves. Google then transmits the answer and then vibrates it through the bone behind the ear. He hears it in his head and he can regurgitate the answer to you.
We were in a simulation. Are we a simulation inside of a simulation inside of a simulation, or are there actual biological beings that are controlling the simulation?
That's a great question. So it could be biological. It could be that we're in a biological body. It could be that we're in a software program. I mean, there's so many possibilities. It's almost endless. But I do know that the fundamental basis of what we're living in is light. Everything you can't see exists as waves, just like in a video game. The next frame only appears when you need it to. Everything that exists is only a light wave. Matter of fact, due to wave-particle duality, everything only exists as a wave first and then collapses into what we appear to be the illusion of solid matter later. Like right now, you're here. Your home exists as a wave of potentials. It doesn't even exist as a solid structure. Now, if somebody sees it, it collapses instantaneously into a solid structure known as your house. Your house has a specific frequency because of the way the atoms were stacked, so it always collapses to the same structure.
Wait, it's illegal to interact with dolphins because of what?
Did you know that it is against the law to interact with dolphins unless you are at an aquarium, zoo, theme park, etc.? The reason for this is not to protect dolphins, but to stop humans from developing connections with mammals that are actually smarter than us. Dolphins have a cerebral cortex that is 40% larger than humans, and they have their own language which we are unable to comprehend. It is considered that dolphins may have knowledge about Atlantis, Lemuria, etc., which generally is hidden from the public via the Vatican archives. Damn! Okay, so I definitely agree with this post. Only because, one, I've looked into dolphin-assisted births, and studies say that if women is giving birth around dolphins, it will actually assist and help with their birth. And two, sea life has been here longer than humans, which would also tie into Atlantis. And three, if there would be any ET in the ocean, my first go-to would be dolphins, because of their cerebral cortex is 40% larger than humans. And I'm pretty sure they have information on Atlantis and Lemuria. I believe dolphins are very ancient creatures. And then to top it off, this post ends with, it is considered that dolphins may have knowledge about Atlantis, Lemuria, etc., which generally is hidden from the public via the Vatican archives. If you don't...
Someone says mean things to you, it's a smarter way to handle it. Think of it as being a gang leader in the show time to shine. When they finish talking, calmly ask them, is there anything else you want to say? Now, two things can happen. They might say hurtful things, so you ask again, anything else? The idea is to make them admit defeat and say, no, I'm done. Then you ask them, why you say all those things to me? They might struggle with a good excuse or feel sorry if they act tough. You can show them that you're not bothered by saying, why do you think I care about what you want? That will make them quiet. But wait, there is more. Take a deep breath, smile, and walk away confidently, as if the words do not affect you. That is the final victory. Just keep that in mind.
Back in the solar kitchen, and today I'm going to be building another solar stove. And you want to make sure you're doing this when the sun isn't out because you don't want to burn yourself. So I'm going to start putting these panels together first. Hey, so I'm basically just connecting these mirrors with each other. Put the oil in there. Back at it in the solar kitchen. One right there. One right there. I'm gonna do one more. Okay? Okay. And make sure all of the sun rays are pointing directly at the bottom of that. So I'm just gonna look at the bottom of it. Yep. It's looking good. And it's deep fried, all right. This is using a solar cooker. Oil splashing everywhere. You gotta be a real what you're doing out here.
You gotta be a real one, okay? But don't worry, I got your back.
Sesame seed oil. Let's give that a stir. Woo! It's starting to look good, ain't it?
Yes. And the aroma is amazing.
Mmm.
It smells so fresh.
It's done. Tell me that don't look good. Tell me that don't look good.
Delicioso.
Tell them the truth.
They already know how good it's gonna be.
Fuck 'em up. Get 'em black. Get 'em black. Get 'em black. Get 'em black. Fuck 'em up. Get 'em right. Tighten up. Get right.
Dear God, I thank you for this food that I am about to enjoy by myself, because the dog that I have has already eaten her food, and while she ate her food, I did not disturb her. I did not stand beside her and watch her. I allowed her to enjoy her food by herself. So in the process of me getting her, exactly. Thank you.
All right. All right, y'all. The video has come to a close. So thank you guys for joining me here today. I appreciate the love and the vibes and all that other good stuff. Please enjoy the rest of your day or night or whatever. Love and light to every last one of you. And until the next video, peace out.